Why do ible and ible suffixes change nuance? Imagine you're looking at a word like breakable or visible. Have you ever wondered why some words end with ible while others end with ible? It might seem like a small difference, but it actually tells us a lot about how words are formed and how they evolve in the English language. Today, we're going to explore why these suffixes change nuance and what that means for understanding words better. Both ible and ible are suffixes that turn verbs into adjectives, meaning they describe the ability or capacity of something. For example, readable means something can be read, and audible means something can be heard. They serve the same basic purpose but come from different origins, which influences how we use them. The suffix ible comes from Latin through Old French. It is more flexible and is added to many English roots, especially those that are already familiar and complete words. Think of words like washable or breakable. These are straightforward because the roots are common English words or easily recognizable. Because of its Latin roots, ible often feels more familiar and simple to use. On the other hand, ible also comes from Latin but is more restricted. It is usually attached to Latin roots that were not originally standalone English words. For example, audible comes from Latin audiere, meaning to hear, and incredible from Latin credere, meaning to believe. These roots are less familiar to most English speakers, giving words ending with ible a slightly more formal or classical tone. The difference in nuance is subtle but important. Words with ible tend to sound more straightforward and are often used with common English roots. Words with ible carry a sense of formality or a connection to Latin origins, making them feel a bit more elevated or precise. For example, manageable sounds more everyday, while incredible sounds more dramatic and formal. Spelling patterns also help us understand when to use each suffix. If the root is a complete English word like break or wash, we usually add ible. If the root is Latin or not a standalone English word, we tend to use ible. So, breakable makes sense because break is a simple English word, but eligible comes from Latin eligere, so it ends with ible. In sentences, these differences show up clearly. You might say the book was very readable, meaning it was easy to read. Or the sound was audible, meaning you could hear it. Both words describe capability, but their origins influence how natural they feel in different contexts. Understanding these suffixes helps us see how English adapts words from Latin and other languages. It also shows how subtle changes in spelling can carry a lot of meaning about the word's history and tone. So next time you see a word ending with ible or ible, remember that their roots tell a story about the word's evolution and nuance.